I believed in myself enough to know that I wasn't going to fail. And if I failed, I would get back up and do it again. The only failure that matters is the one that knocked you down and you didn't get back up.
Hey, welcome to Power Onward Network. I'm Greg Flanagan, founder of Power Onward Network, a place where we bring in agents that are looking for some direction on a monthly basis, group coaching, single coaching, anything you need, solution solving. Today with us is Jessica Lucas, a rising star in the Keller Williams organization. Jessica's got 6 years on the job, and I know she doesn't look more than 19 years old, but she does have 6 years. She is a team leader of the Coastal Edge group, which is doing fabulous, presently in Charleston and also in Virginia?
Hampton Roads, Virginia.
Hampton Roads, okay, cool. Good morning, Jessica, how are you?
Good morning, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. I wanted to go in today, and I've known you for about a year and a half, I think. You've been around for about a year and a half down here. Why don't you tell us your story up to this date?
So I have been in real estate for 6 years, like you said, and I started my career in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Supported my husband in his military career. We moved down to Charleston and had to start my business all over again. Knew no one. I knew my husband and my kids. That was it. And so I built a career as anyone would, and it took a year and a half to get off the ground in Charleston. And I just dove into what worked for me. And here we are. If Vince could see us now, a year and a half ago, we were having a really hard conversation, and I'm so thankful for real estate. It's an amazing, amazing career that has opened up so many doors for so many agents.
So, and I'm hearing the year and a half over and over again. You've been in a business for how many years?
6, but I had to start all over again when we moved to Charleston. I knew no one, and what worked for me in Virginia did not work for me in Charleston.
You were successful in Virginia?
Yeah, I became a top producing agent in year 2, but I also had to build a career there as well. I didn't know anyone in Virginia.
Okay. And when you say build a career, what does that look like?
Getting people in my, sphere. I didn't have anyone. I knew my husband when I moved there. I wasn't born and raised in Virginia. I was born and raised in another state. And when I moved there, I got a waitressing job, started meeting people that way, and just started finding any way that I could talk to people. And that's how I started.
So any way you can talk to people. You were a solo agent, you weren't on a team.
Correct.
And you said you got a job as a waitress.
I did.
What kind of conversation is that for a waitress to be talking to people?
It was good. Some people want to talk to you. And so, you just open up that door. And then I moved out of waitressing and went and got a job as a leasing consultant. And I told the gentleman that hired me, I said, you can obviously see I'm 8 months pregnant. I can't put 2 kids in childcare and make the salary that you're willing to pay me. But I know that I'm really good at what I do and I'm reliable. Why don't I show you in my 90 days what I can do? And then we'll talk about, I wanted to show him I was valuable to him. So I gave him 90 days, had a baby, was still consistent, wanted to show him I could still show up on time. My problems weren't his problems. Keep in mind, my husband's deployed during this time as well. And so 90 days comes and I rented more apartments that were outdated, overpriced, and just needed to be gutted. In 30 days, than most agents wrote in a matter of 6 months. And so I went to him and said, here's my numbers, here's everyone else's. I want to work here because I want a job, but I can't continue to do it because I'm working for free just to get out of the house. And he said, I would love to pay you. I just don't have it right now, blah, blah, blah. So we fast forward and I said, nope, you knew the stipulations. I gave you 90 days. I showed my numbers. I'm valuable to you. So then I started thinking, if I can do this for him and make him rich, why don't I go do it for myself? So I put myself back into real estate school, got my license, and never looked back. Now here we are.
Cool. I hear you saying, it sounded like you showed up for the person you wanted to be. Right? You showed up during those 90 days. You did what you had to do to get where you needed to go. What was going through your mind at that time? I think right now we have a lot of agents that, like you, worked for the man. That's what it was, right? Working for the man, making him rich, as you said. And they broke away and said, let me do this myself. You were obviously successful. What was your mindset? What was your thought pattern to say, well, I have this little job over here. They're paying me. I have 3 kids. One's an infant. I'm just going to go out and, start a new business. What was going through your mind?
It wasn't easy. Full disclosure, getting my license is expensive, and it went on credit cards. I mean, it was a huge risk, but I believed in myself enough to know that I wasn't going to fail. And if I failed, I would get back up and do it again. The only failure that matters is the one that knocked you down and you didn't get back up. At the end of the day, I put that on a credit card and knew that I had to succeed to pay that debt off. My husband does have a career, but at the end of the day, the career doesn't involve me having a million other things to add to our normal monthly bills. So now, at the time it was scary, but I knew that I could not fail. My big why, my kids. I have kids to feed. I absolutely had to dive in and take the risk.
Cool. You've got this great mental ability to go forward and keep yourself on track. And was there something that kept you that way? Was it life experience? Was it books? Was it coaching? What led you to this thought process of yours that I'm just going to do this? I mean, a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that grit to say, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to stop until it's right. Any idea what drives you like that?
Yeah, I actually didn't dive into coaching until I met you and started coaching in Charleston. Can you believe that? I had a newborn, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old at home and could not put them in childcare because my newborn was colicky so I had to be a full-time stay-at-home mom and a full-time realtor, which was fun. So I didn't have coaching. I didn't get to go to the classes because they weren't on Zoom. So I just had to figure it out. And I was raised by a single mom, and I learned from her that if you want something in life, you have to go and get it. Nothing's going to be handed to you, and life's not fair. So if you want to succeed, it's on you to do the work and put the time in. If you're not going to do the work and put the time in, you're not going to get a paycheck in 90 days.
Right. Excellent. So it was more early upbringing and a sense of you're either going to do it or you're not. And if you're not, get the heck out of the way. Beautiful. As your career progressed, I mean, I remember you coming into the market and understanding that you were a successful agent up in Virginia. There was a time, I think, that you almost said, I'm going to pack this up and go away. What happened? Tell us what that epiphany was, because you were ready to leave, weren't you?
I was. It's hard. It's hard to go from working to the top to be top percentage in your brokerage in year 2 and having a sphere and working so hard for that in year 1 to then walk away from it, because essentially I had to build a team that could stand on its own while I wasn't there. And keep in mind, I still have all my kids home with me. So then we come to Charleston, and I gave it a solid year, and I went to my coach and I said, hey, I think I need to get a real job. And this was January 2020. So every top agent goes through this, okay? So you're not, just keep remembering it takes a lot to get to the top of the hill, but once you're there, you're there. And then you'll find your next hill that you have to climb. I went to my coach and I said, I think I need to get a new job. I think I need to get a real job. And he says, to this day, I still quote this and we still make fun of each other for it. Jessica Lucas, are you insane? You are the most driven individual I've ever met in my entire life. Are you really telling me you're going to quit? And so I'll never forget that conversation. He just said, you just need to dive into what works for you. If cold calling doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Do what works for you. Do what makes you money. And so I took that to heart and hit the ground running. And from March of 2020 to December of 2020, I wrote 15 million by myself with no TC, no admin, just me, and that's it. In COVID.
Well, that's a lot. So as a solo agent, come on, man, 15 million. What did you do? What was your mindset going into this thing? This is crazy. You say, well, I didn't know anybody in town, right? You obviously knew a few people. What was your strategy going forward? I mean, everybody's got a strategy, and I think that's one of the best things about this business is that we can have 1,000 different ways to make money and strategize and business plans. And what was your business plan going forward?
To utilize what worked for me. And what works for me is relationships. So I took a step back and said, how can I build relationships and sustain a relationship with them using my CRM? And that's kind of where kind of the rubber met the road, and here we are today.
Okay, so the CRM, the relationship side of it, with these people you knew, people you went out and got, I mean, there's a group of people out here, and I think, 75% of agents do not write more than 6 deals a year. Okay, I'm trying to show them how a top producer who, with the right mindset, can come in and crush it in 12 months. Now, I'm not a big believer that you shouldn't have a TC.
Me neither. Don't do it.
Don't do it, right? Would that be one of the first things you'd say once you got busy enough to say you got 10 deals on the table, start getting somebody else to help you?
Yeah, the hard part though for me is at one point I had 16 under contract at one time. So to go and take the time out of those deals to then go find the leverage, I needed to make it through those deals. But then you saw my chart was like this,
right,
because I was constantly just getting a bunch of deals and then trying to keep them under contract and then get a bunch of deals. I should have leveraged a long time ago,
sure,
which is what happened in 2021.
So what kept you from leveraging?
Doubting myself.
How so?
If I can't bring you on and know that I can sustain your paycheck, it's hard for me to bring you on. And then on top of that, finding the right person takes time that I didn't have. Once I built the systems for building the relationships, I would get 2 to 3 buyers a week, and trying to show houses and do home inspections and do final walkthroughs and negotiate all of that. Like, it's just one of those things that I kept saying, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. It'll get better. And as my coach said, it's obviously not. You're continuing to close a ridiculous amount of houses. Time to leverage. So I'd been in denial for a long time that I needed help, and I just have the mindset that I'll get it done. And sometimes it would cut into my sleep. So my whole family would be in bed, and I'd be up till 3 o'clock in the morning doing what I promised that I would do, and then getting up with the kids at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Beautiful. So tell me about what happens now that you've got that leverage in place. What's the difference in your life?
So I've leveraged with the buyer's agent. So it's a beautiful thing. It makes it so I can go out and do other things that I'm passionate about. And also I get to change someone else's life and help her build her business. And it's been wonderful. I can't believe that I waited so long to leverage some of the business. I mean, it's fantastic.
Wow. Where do you see solo agents in the future? Is there still going to be room once the conglomerates come in and put brokerages in the local cities, such as Zillow? We just got Zillow into the marketplace as a brokerage. Do you see that solo agents are still going to be viable in the next 5 to 10 years?
I do. At the end of the day, it comes down to, are you willing to put the work in? If you're not willing to put the work in, maybe you should go get a job where you have a boss telling you what to do every day. Because real estate's hard, and anyone that tells you it's easy is lying to you.
I love that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so I would say, if you're not willing to put the work in, you're going to be knocked down 100 times. But it's so rewarding when it pays off. You did it. It's your business. And you don't have anyone to tell you that you did something wrong. You'll know if you did something wrong. And then you fix it and you do better next time. And I've never had a transaction be the same in my entire career. They're all different and we all learn things. And it's just, yes, I do think that there's going to be a market for solo agents as long as you're willing to put the work in.
Cool. What do you believe is your biggest value add to your clients? What made you different to your clients? Now, do you consider your clients the people who are referring them in or the people that actually come in?
Good question. Both. I want to keep a relationship with both of them. Agents know more clients. They're the ones that are out there purposely saying, hey, I'm in real estate. Who do you know that wants to buy or sell? So of course, why wouldn't I keep those agents in the database? But I would say for me, relationships and communication. So to me, think about it. Has anyone ever been mad at you for over communicating? So sometimes, as silly as it sounds to say, do I really need to send a text to them to say that I did this for them today? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Your clients need to know that you're working for them. No one's ever going to yell at you for over communicating. And that's something that I've done time and time again, because at the end of the day, that's where agents drop the ball.
So the communication, not only with the buyer or seller, but also with the referral partner, the person that referred them into you, whether it's an agent or a single person. That's pretty good. Communications, no one has ever complained that I over communicated.
Yeah.
I think at times it's like, where have you been? Where have you been?
If you're not communicating, so you'll know.
You'll know, because they'll start using other people to do the deals and talk to other people. Once you let them have air, once you let them out of your fold, goodbye, you're done. You got to work all over again to get them back in. In closing, and I can go on for 2 hours because I just love talking to you. What do you think is the most important thing a new agent, struggling agent, an agent doing less than 6 deals, 7 deals? What do you think the most important thing that they should do, or invest in, or adopt as a mindset? What do you think is the most important thing? And feel free to give me 5 of them. I don't care. I want to hear them.
So I would say do what works for you. What works for Greg Flanagan does not work for Jessica Lucas. So you need to dive in and find what works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. I'm big on systems. So I try a system for 90 days. If it doesn't make me money or save me time or make my life easier, then I get rid of it and try a different system for 90 days. So I would say the same thing in business. If that way of lead generating isn't making sense for you, then go find what makes sense for you. I'm not your average realtor. I don't cold call. I don't go door knock. I don't do open houses. I just found what works for me, and I do it at a high level.
Okay, and I appreciate that. And just to reiterate, what works for you is relationship building between other agents throughout the country, referrals coming into Charleston, South Carolina, correct?
Yeah,
and Hampton Roads, of course.
Yeah, of course. And what I do too, I mean, once a week, I'll go in and pick an agent. I'll go find someone on our CRM and say, oh, I don't have anyone in Texas. And I'll go try to find an agent to connect with. I'll do my research on them first, and then I'll call them.
So let me back up here a little bit, because it's something that I've found over my career when interviewing people, is that a lot of people don't like cold calling. What'd you just do?
I like it. I do like it. I like it when I don't have to call and ask buyers for their business. But when it comes to realtors, I like it.
You don't mind calling, right? It's cold calling.
I want to be a team leader because I like that part of it.
Right. It's cold calling.
Yeah.
You do have to reach out to people, and you do have to talk to them, because everything starts with a relationship starts with not knowing the other person.
Yeah.
So we are cold calling. I think cold calling is dead. Personally, like you, I don't have any value in picking up a phone and calling 5,000 people a day unless you get paid for it as an ISA. I think there are better things a real estate agent can do with their time, and one of them is vertically versus horizontally. Vertically going after a real estate agent versus horizontally going after the entire board. I need somebody in Dallas, Texas, and here it is. I'm going to call these guys. Fabulous. Jessica, I love you. Just so everybody knows, Jessica is, I think you accepted the job, or can we say that now?
Growth driver, yes.
The growth driver.
Yeah.
And what does that entail?
We're a business center right now, so once we have enough agents, we become a market center, and then I'll take the team. It'll turn into the team leader role.
Okay. So you're a growth driver in Hampton Roads.
Yes.
Looking for agents to build your Hampton Roads Business Center
The
into
new
a market center.
business center. It's going to be fabulous.
Yeah, I think they picked the right person.
I appreciate that.
I think they picked the right person for that. Thank you very much. Best of luck for you in the years ahead. I'm sure we'll see you. You are I got a feeling you're going to be on that big stage someday in some kind of big position with the letters RI after it. So
I appreciate you, Greg.
All right.
I love my West Washington family. Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.